What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Red Ranch. Today we're going to be cutting some lathe blanks on the sawmill. Right now we got some mahogany up on the mill. We're going to be basically just doing mahogany today. So this is a, let's get some measurements before I get into it here. So we got about 9 feet overall. And down on this end right here, this end here is about 10 to 11 inches in diameter, and it gets down to about 8-9 inches in diameter, probably around this area here. So we got 9 feet total. If I take 2 feet off of that, then that would give us 7 feet of blanks that are going to be roughly around 6 by 6, you know, maybe some 8 by 8s, and then we'll have some good 10 by 10 material right there in the first 2 feet. So I'm going to nip off that section 2 feet first, and then I'm going to scoot this log back, and then we're going to take 4 sides off of it. We'll cut it and rotate it, cut it, rotate it, so we'll have basically a big mahogany cant. Typically on smaller branches, smaller than this, I would cut it into sections and then take it out back and cut it by hand with a chainsaw. It's a lot of work that way. So it's very nice if you got a nice straight section like so that you can cut on the mill. Save you a lot of time and a lot of effort too. So we're gonna get right into it. I've got, as well, I've also got plenty of mahogany. Normally, typically, if I didn't have so much, I just picked up this massive tree. I'll put it up on the screen, a picture of it. If I didn't have so much material, I wouldn't be sacrificing such a larger piece. I would try to get as many boards as I could out of just as much material as I got. So here is my mahogany pile. I would typically, if I didn't have as much material as I do here, I wouldn't be using a piece like that for sacrificing it for bowl blanks. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of pieces I can use for anything else, maybe some shelving or something like that. So we're gonna have some really nice pieces. And stuff goes all the way over here. This is a pretty big tree. This is only one load that I could get on my trailer. I have to go back and get the rest. The base of the tree is probably 5.5 feet in diameter, so it was a really big tree. Sad to see it go, but it's just urban harvesting of it, you know. So we will cut that piece off, that log, scoot it back a little bit, and get the sawmill prepped for cutting. we've successfully now cut a mahogany cant, or basically a big beam. I cut it at 8 by 8, 8 inches by 8 inches, and now I'm going to do probably 3 or 4 8-inch sections, and then maybe 1 or 2 12-inch sections, and maybe a couple 6-inch. So I'll show you how I kind of mark that now. Just use a simple square with a Sharpie, and you'd measure from the end, of course, over, and mark it with your tape measure, and draw a line. And then you would basically do the same thing on the other side here. That way when you're cutting with the chainsaw, you know you're square. You're cutting it as straight as you can with a chainsaw. Instead of just kind of making one line and guessing where it went, you could be a quarter, half-inch off or so, you know, all the way down. So that really helps. So I'm going to mark it now and cut them up. And there we are, all our blanks. All of them are 8 by 8, and they vary from 6 inches like this to 8 inches up to 12 inches. Make some really nice stuff out of these. Beautiful mahogany, Cuban mahogany. These will get anchor seal on the end grains, both sides, to keep them from splitting, doing anything crazy. But mahogany is a very stable wood to begin with. So I'm not sure we'll have too much trouble with any splitting. I mean, we've even got the small end cut off here. This was on the end of the log, where I'm going to have to resaw that a little bit and get it squared up again. But you probably have about 2 inches, 2 inch by 8 by 8, so you can still make a really nice bowl or something like that. Or you can even cut these up into pen blanks or gun or pistol grips, or you name it. I mean, just nice block of wood. Beautiful mahogany. This stuff does turn red after a while of it being oxidized from the air, from fresh wounds of the tree. It will turn red like typical mahogany will. But this has got some beautiful grain just sitting as is. You can finish a bowl and leave it out in the sun, and it'll actually turn colors on you until you're ready to keep that consistent color that it turns into. Then you can seal it up. But if you'd like to keep it that color, you can sand it down just like it is and finish it. Yeah, it'll keep that color in it. There's reds and some purples in the grain and some of the little knot holes. Maybe you can kind of see it there, but it's beautiful. We still got one more piece. This one here. This one's going to give us our big 10 by 10 blanks. I'm going to show you how I process that. I'm going to take it out back right now and show you what I got to do. I don't believe I've shown you guys this yet in any of my videos. This is my solar kiln. I'm just leaving that log hanging right there while we go out back. So I just wanted to show you guys inside the kiln, because I do have some mahogany that is almost dried out. I wanted to show you kind of that reddish look to it that it gets when it dries. So we open it up, and this is all red gum eucalyptus, Norfolk pine, and this is the mahogany right here. So as you can see, this stuff's been out in this air drying for probably a year or so, and now it's in the kiln. Let's see how it gets that red color. Beautiful stuff. This is the solar kiln. This is the fan. Got 3 stacks of wood in there, and it runs for free. Runs off the sun. Here in Florida, it's always hot, so makes no sense to get anything else other than a solar kiln. Right now, currently, it's around like 110 in there. It's pretty early in the day still. Alright, let's head out back. So we are now at the back of the property, and this is my jig. I put the log right up on top of it. See, there's just 2 boards that hold it in place. A backer board, so you know what is the backstop. And these 2 pieces here are measured at 6 and 8 inches. And I have 2 of them there and 2 on each side. So I know to keep my blade in line, my chain in line with those, and I'll get roughly 6.5 inches if I was cutting 6, or around 8, 8.5, sometimes even an inch over, because I cut it down in the sawmill or on the bandsaw next to process it. See, this is it's not flush there, so I'll cut it flush, slide it up, and recut it. Makes it save some time. But this is my lathe yard. It's like a graveyard for lathe turners. It's got all the smaller pieces that aren't big enough to go on the sawmill. Got rosewood and eucalyptus, oak, more mahogany down there. It was pretty filled up about a week ago until I did some damage here. But anyways, I'll show you how this works. And just like that, there's a 6-inch piece right there. Now I'm going to continue on, maybe probably 3 6 inches and 2 8 inches is what we're going to get out of it. So I'm going to cut the rest of these up. My phone, I don't want it to get overheated out here, so I'll meet you at the bandsaw once I get it all set up. Alright, now we're back up at the shop. We're up on the big grizzly bandsaw, and it's time to start processing these down into blanks. We got our rounds with our bark all fully on there, and let me plug it in. Okay, now we're all set to go. So basically all you want to do is start out by making one flat surface. So kick this on, and we just make one flat surface cut. Keeping it as straight as you can. So, simple as that. We have 2 reference faces now. Now we just want to take our square and measure it pretty close to where we want to be. This is going to be a 10 by 10, so I measured my fence 10 inches from the blade. Now, you just go ahead and go to town. Now that wasn't much of a cut, so we might want to bring it down to around an 8 by 8. So let's get that situated. Now the key is definitely to be using a sharp blade. This blade's a little bit dull, so I'll I'll get through this and then I'll probably change the blade out. Now you could even use the offcuts like so and cut these further into pen blanks, you know, so nothing really goes to waste. You never want to be working fast. Take your time. It's not worth losing a finger or getting hurt. Alright, so I'm going to go change this blade out, but as you can see, that is an 8x8x8 piece of mahogany. Nice bow blank cut. Now remember, working with a bandsaw or any type of blade for that matter, sharp blade's going to be your best friend. So we got a brand new blade on here. Let's see how this one cuts. It's like a night and day difference. Keep your blade sharp, everybody. So we're just going to do the same process. Get it, mark it, and cut it. Just like that. Now we have two sides, 90 degrees. So take that, kind of set it off to the side. A big bandsaw is going to be everything you need if you do stuff like this. It might be a lot harder with working with smaller stuff. Alright, we're going to finish up the rest of these cuts and see everything that we have. Alright, that pretty much wraps it up. This is the big stuff here. I get them all labeled, take nice pictures of them and put them up on eBay or my website. You can find that stuff if you type in Red Ranch Productions on eBay or redranchproductions.com. If you want one of these mahogany blanks, it will be available, and as well as other species. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.